today's episode of James and IT, we're going to help you get started using Vim. Now, if you've heard of Vim and clicked on this video, you probably already know what it is, or you're curious what it is, but chances are you have somewhat of an idea. Vim is a text editor. You find it universally on just about any BSD or Unix-based operating system, such as Linux, Mac OS X, and there's literally like 5 billion others. But it's a great tool for you to know and learn and understand how it works and be able to use it. Let's get started. So here we're in my Linux system and I've got my terminal open. To use Vim, all you need to do first is make sure that you have it installed. Now, by default, you're going to have probably the Vi Tiny, because Vim is based off of VI or Vi, and you'll want the full version of Vim. It just makes things easier. It's a lot more user-friendly, but knowing at least the basics will help you get around both because they're very, very similar. But to make sure that it's installed, all you need to do is sudo apt-get if you're running a Debian or Ubuntu-based system, or just whatever your package manager is. Mac is going to be Brew, and then you got Yum, or about 1,000 different others. Just depends on what system you're using, but usually sudo apt-get install, because most are based off of Debian. And then just make sure you have Vim installed. And what it does is it goes through and makes sure that it's in there. So I've already got a file, the bashrc file, that was in my Etsy directory, and we're going to play with that some and open it up. So to launch Vim, we type in vi and bash.rc to open up this particular file. Now with this, you're put into the text editor directly. So what you're in the mode right now is you're essentially in your navigation view. So right now, if you take your hands and put them on the keyboard as you normally would, you can move your cursor around by using the H, J, K, and L keys. You can also use your arrow keys, don't get me wrong. With Vim, you can use your arrow keys, but if you have the Vi Tiny, you're going to have to stick to the actual Vi way of doing it, which is going to be the H, J, K, and L. So H lets you go right, L makes you go left, J lets you go down, and then K lets you go up. Likewise, on your other hand, if you hit W, you go forward a word. If you hit B, you go back a word. So that's just basic navigation. Now there's another mode to Vim. Let's go up here. We're going to press either the letter A or letter I, doesn't matter which. Either one puts you into insert mode. And from here, we can now start typing just fine. Can add some text to this document. Boot. So it makes it easy. Now to get out of the insert mode, you just hit escape, and now you're back to using your H, J, K, and L like you normally would for your navigation. You can also, if you're using the full-blown version of Vim, you can use your home keys and your arrow keys. Now, let's say we made this change, we want to save this. How do we do it? Well, if you put in a colon, you'll see your colon down at the bottom here of the window. If you type the letter W, that means write output. So what it's doing is it's writing the changes that we made to this document. And I just hit enter and it shows us, okay, the file name, blah, 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 was how many bytes were written to it. We can also, if we do :Q, we can exit out of this. But we don't have to do them in two separate ways. We can actually combine them. So if we do write quit, so WQ, now it writes and quits all at the same time and puts us back in our main terminal. Let's go back in. Now let's say we don't want this line here anymore. Now you notice we're not in insert mode. You know, if we were in insert mode, we'd have the insert down there at the bottom and we'd want to hit escape, but we're put in the navigation mode. If you type the letter D twice, that will delete the entire line. Now let's go ahead and save that. We're saving it like we never made any changes because we removed the line we added. Now there's a lot more advanced features. Like for example, let's say we want to copy this line. If we hit Y twice and then navigate down and hit the letter P, we can add that line back in. Now if let's clear this up, do Shift P, it adds it in the same space that our cursor is located. But if we do just the standard P, that puts it behind our cursor. So just know that there's different ways for things here. So let's go ahead and clean this up. So one thing that we can do, especially if we're in a larger document, is sometimes we can get lost in it, right? We don't know where we're at. Well, here, if we look in our lower right-hand corner, you'll notice here that's right there. It tells you the character location you're at. You notice I'm on the 5th character and I'm on the 11th line. Now, if you want to see all the line numbers, well, if we hit Control and we do set number, that enables our line numbers. So now when we navigate around, we can see, okay, this is actually one single line. That's why we drop down. It's this line number 13 is wrapped. So having those line numbers enabled is a great way to know where you're at in the document. But know that you also have the navigation here. Also, what's behind me is the word at top because it tells you you're at the top of the document. But with line numbers over here on the end of the document, we can see where we're at. And if we go down to the bottom, you're going to see these squigglies. This squigglies means it's empty text. So there's nothing there. It's an empty file. We're at the end. So the file is only 58 lines long. Now, what if we want to create a new file? So let's do a Q and a bang. That way we exit out and that forces us to quit without saving any changes. Let's go ahead and clear this, and we're going to create a text file called James. You notice here, this is empty. We're automatically put into a new editor window. There's no text at all. So we first need to go into insert mode in order for us to add text to this file. Once we get done adding our text, we escape out of exit mode and then do :W and Q to quit, or W to save it if we want to continue working on it, WQ to save, and then quit that file. Now, if we look at LS, we see that our James file is there. So I'm just looking at doing the basics here today. I highly recommend you get to know Vi and Vim and learn how it works. Get comfortable with it, especially if you want to use Linux and Unix-based systems a lot. It's a great skill to have because it's on virtually every system. And the capabilities of it are really impressive because you can do some amazing things. One other thing I want to show you real quick before we end this video. Let's go back into our desktop. I almost forgot. There is a cheat sheet here, vimsheet.com. This is a great resource for you to look at, and we'll link it down in the description for you too, but has a lot of nice shortcuts to make it easy for you to find what commands do what. And having that cheat sheet is very, very helpful because it's hard to remember all the different things. The other thing that's nice about Vim is if we open Vi just straight without stating a file name, it shows you, okay, we've got some information here for things that we can do, like how to exit, how to find help. So if we do :help, we can see the help and be able to navigate through this. And I'm just hitting the page up and page down as an example, or you can use the J, K, and L to navigate like we've shown earlier. But it has some great documentation in here, but know that Vimsheet is available and it's a great resource to have. Bookmark it. You might be able to find a printed version that you can print out. It makes it easy. But know that it's there. So that's it for our video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to see you next time in our next video. Thanks for watching.